Ladies and gentlemen, you have locked into Rap Life. We're going to talk to Low Key. We're going to talk to Nadeska. What are the most important conversations that are going on in hip-hop right now, as well as run through some of the hottest songs on the playlist. So y'all keep it locked right here. This is Rap Life. Now let's start and celebrate and salute J. Cole dropping Interlude, which basically was an interlude. It's 2 minutes long. Right. I love the sample. I love the beats, but it's basically one verse, right, Lo?
Yeah, it's one verse. Repeated hook. We got Cole finally back, returned to the scene. Cole has a cult following, so whatever he drops, whatever he does, people are going to clamor over it. People are going to love it. I'm not saying I was that impressed by what I heard.
Oh, here we go.
Are we going to talk?
Where's Nadeska? When I need her? You know what I'm saying? Somebody that could really pay respect to J. Cole.
No. This is the Rap Life review. This is where we talk about rap and we review rap. You understand?
All right. Let's review the raps then.
Right. So, I'm not saying...
What weren't you impressed with?
Not saying it was bad. Not saying it was the most horrible verse I've heard, but, also it was an interlude. It was an interlude.
Very important. Very important.
Yeah, it was an interlude. So, album comes out next Friday or this Friday. I wasn't that impressed with what I heard, but I understand it's also just an interlude. But I also understand J. Cole hasn't been around since, 2019, 18?
Well, he put out a couple of records last year.
Yeah, I'm talking about a body of work.
A full album, yes. And remember, he put out something and... Then No Name had to come fire back at him. That was all during the pandemic. And then he put out some more records. Right. And, it was well received. It didn't go to the highest heights of like a Middle Child and some of his other things. Right. But, I like what he had to say.
Yeah,
I believe it was purposeful. It was well done. And I like how he went about saying what he needed to say. The pattern he chose, the way he chose to use his voice in a melodic way while spitting bars. I think it reminded people of how talented J. Cole is as an MC, I believe.
And
now you may not have, maybe it wasn't enough, maybe the song wasn't enough, maybe because it was just an interlude, it didn't have a second verse, and the beat obviously you weren't able to enjoy it, like you would a full song because of breakdowns and arrangements and things like that when you're getting into the production technicals. Right. But J. Cole doing his job as a rapper, as an MC, showing up and having a unique way of saying some real shit through a song with a complete thought.
Right.
He executed on that. And maybe your bar is high for J. Cole.
And the only reason why I'm critiquing it so high is he made a tweet right before he put out the interlude. He said, I was thinking about giving the album away without putting out anything or releasing anything. And honestly, I would have rathered that. I would have rathered him just giving us, how many songs, 13, 14, 15, whatever the case is. I'd rather just hear it Friday in full. Sort of like how Khaled did.
Travis Scott sold out his Astroworld Festival in minutes down in Houston. 100,000 tickets, even the top VIP tickets selling quickly. Right. No artists on the lineup announced. Right. Is this the audience acknowledging Travis Scott? Is this the audience needing to make plans to be outside post-COVID? What should we make of this headline of Travis Scott's Astroworld selling out this fast with no artist announced?
It's a combination, man. Travis Scott is one of the best performers of this generation right now. We've seen what Astroworld has done in the past, so this is not surprising. And then also, we got to get back outside. We're just itching to get outside.
That is expensive.
It's an experience.
That's why all y'all should just go to Summer Jam in New York. You know what I'm saying? Tickets ain't as expensive. You get mad acts. It's nice and tight and focused. You go home that night.
Are we having a Summer Jam?
Yo, man, listen. It's probable, possible, and likely. In other news over the weekend, Pop Smoke and the murderers of Pop Smoke We got some more detail courtesy of, I believe it was one of the prosecutors on the case. And the details that we got, according to this it was a detective.
Yeah.
That Pop Smoke was actually shot by a 15-year-old boy over a diamond-studded Rolex watch. That they had gone into where Pop Smoke was staying. They went in, and the guy that stole the watch went in while Pop Smoke was in the shower.
Yeah.
The detective said a group of teenage home intruders busted into Pop Smoke's rented Hollywood home, and they did it via the second floor balcony and demanded his jewelry. And this is during an apparent jailhouse confession of the 15-year-old that said Pop Smoke appeared to comply, but then he tried to rush the teens. And in the confrontation that they broke into, Pop Smoke was pistol whipped and shot in the chest.
They also say they shot him 3 times in the back. From what I read, from the report that I read, that he got shot 3 times in the back. Then they resold the piece for only $2,000. So they took the watch and then only resold it for about 2 G's.
So everybody's clearly upset that we lost a very promising superstar over a $2,000 watch. People are also upset just about how stupid this whole thing really is when you get down to the nuts and bolts of it.
Right.
And people are clearly still in pain over, the murder of Pop Smoke and just gun violence that's going on in general in America right now. But I guess, the question here, Lo, with regard to Pop Smoke and everybody clearly understanding, everybody involved in this case right now is either getting life in prison or death row, correct?
That's what I read.
From the 15-year-old, and wasn't there a 30-year-old involved too?
I think the 30-year-old was the driver, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was the driver. But I know the 15-year-old was the main guy, the main suspect who, committed, the act. But it's just, reading that story is just painful as it is. Reading the details, reading the confession, reading how it went down was just painful as it is, over a watch.
And I think even deeper than that, we see this a lot, at least I do, in the streets, is these adults who claim to be looking out for teenagers or their quote-unquote OGs and are encouraging them to get involved in this type of behavior, right? Because if you have a 30-year-old driver and you have a bunch of teenagers storming into a house, oftentimes the reason they have the teenager doing it is because they feel like the teenagers are going to get a lesser sentence.
Or they feel like they can be more influential over the teenager. They feel like,
well, yeah, that's the reason that they have a bunch of kids hanging around.
right, like, yo, earn your stripes. This is how you can prove your worth to us. This is how you can prove, what you mean to
your loyalty.
Yeah, your loyalty. It's just like, when does it end? When does it stop? When is it going to stop?
Well, I'm going to tell you, it ain't going to stop because, first of all, the neighborhoods where a lot of these guys come from, this is the behavior, this is the culture.
Right.
Secondly, it's in the music. So, a lot of this music that comes out that details this culture and this street behavior is why we're in a cycle anyway. Is because, oftentimes the artists are making music that perpetuates some of this energy.
So that,
you know what I'm saying? But this ain't a new phenomenon. This goes all the way back to the late 80s.
No,
early 90s.
I know that. I'm not saying this is something new that we're encountering. I'm not saying this is something new that we're seeing, a new process or a new whatever. I'm not saying that, but it's just like, damn, like, does it slow down? Does it stop? Does it have a
We live in a nation that is enamored with guns, bro.
Right.
We live in a nation that's enamored with guns and violence and gun violence. And we have fragile male egos and all this machismo running around and people ready to pull out their gun at the drop of a hat. That's what the pride and joy of the nation that we live in. Pride and joy. But the reason I bring it up is when you say, when is it going to stop? It's going to stop when it's not part of our culture, when it's not a cultural priority.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's not just black folks. That's America.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's in entertainment.
You know what I'm saying?
It's in entertainment. It's in every aspect of our entertainment. The movies, the music.
And just like with COVID, just like with poverty, just like with racism and white supremacy, when other people, other groups in this nation are dealing with it, we get the brunt of it because of the systemic nature at which this society has oppressed black folks. So when there's a mental health issue, black people probably got it the worst. Oh, there's a violence issue, black people got it the worst. Oh, it's a health crisis, black people got it the worst. Oh, mass incarceration, black people got it the worst. Diabetes and food issues, black people got it the worst.
You know, our stories are so unique. Our stories are so, just particular that we have a very, very beautiful, colorful way of articulating our stories, whether they be negative or positives, which is why everyone loves to hear them, loves to be a part of them as close as they can be. That's why, we'll always be something that you can never duplicate. Black culture will be something you'll never be able to experience or never be able to replicate or none of that. And that's just who we are, so.
For Low Key and Nadeska, who is having Wi-Fi issues, I just think she didn't want to come to work this week. She tried to claim it was Wi-Fi issues. That's your Rap Life review.
And then posted the pictures, sent us the pictures of how beautiful.
Yo, facts. You saw that?
Yeah,
of how beautiful the weather was where she was at?
So I'm like, the Wi-Fi don't work, but the weather is perfect.
And the pictures that you sent, those pictures came through fast. So how bad is the Wi-Fi?
Just say you ain't want to come to work this week, Nadeska. That's it. We hold it down.
Wow, man. We're here every week, though. Make sure you check out Rap Life Radio. Make sure you check out the Rap Life playlist, all provided to you by Apple Music. And this has been the Rap Life Review. Make sure you subscribe right here on the YouTube page so when we update this, you can get an update. Love, bro. Take care of yourself. Stop being a hater, man.
Whatever, man.